Hey everyone, JJ Wilson here. I'm going to continue along with the Gangsta Curse series, chapter 12. And before we get into the fight head on with Spas and Maverick, we're going to cover some of the side events that happen within this chapter. First we'll touch base with what happens in the Club Bastard, and they show the young Delico here, who in the main series is an adult, and what we know of in the past several chapters, not just with the Gangsta Curse but also the main story. He is the twin of Erica, the twin brother. Well, not actually, they're not twins. He's the older brother, I think. But anyway, they kind of favor each other. But what happens is his sister got kidnapped by some mercenaries, some unknown assailants. I'm thinking they're affiliated with Corsica, but it hasn't been truly revealed yet. But anyway, she and a couple of the Twilight children were kidnapped from the orphanage near Monroe's estate. So he's just sitting there at the Club Bastard with the other Twilight refugees, and he's kind of just staring into space, man, because he just can't believe what happened to his sister. So it's a pretty rough scene to see right there. The other event that happens in the chapter is the encounter with Stryker and Monroe's men, and he's outside, he's fighting these guys off, and for a brief moment we do see Daniel Moreau inside the estate looking down on the action that's outside, and he does view Stryker as the next person infiltrating the premises, the compound, and he's just staring at him very intently, just studying what he's gonna do. And of course, because Stryker wants to get at Daniel Moreau so bad, he's calling him out. He's trying to get at him, but of course Daniel Moreau doesn't pay him any attention. And later on we have Miles coming in there, his right hand man, and with a couple other guys that work close to Monroe. They try to find him, and they do eventually find him, and Daniel Moreau assures them that, hey, there's nothing to worry about, I just wanted to see what was going on out there. And with that said, Daniel Moreau pretty much reassures Miles that there's nothing to be concerned about, it's just a noisy insect. Everything should be just fine. Daniel Moreau, you play things so cool, man, don't you? And now the moment you've all been waiting for, and what I've been most certainly waiting for, the confrontation between Spas and Maverick. Yeah, this was building up quite a bit throughout this manga here, Gangsta Curse. I mean, the tension was all up in the air when these two finally fought. There was some really great battle scenes here, with Maverick with the sword and Spas with the wires, and each one of them tells each other, what's it gonna take for me to wake you up? They both say that to each other because they really feel what they're doing is in the best interest of society, pretty much. Maverick trying to make her seen in the world and trying to eradicate every Twilight possible because of what they've done to her loved one. And with Spas here, also used to be part of that same cause, but now seeing things very differently now, thanks to some of the big events that happened all throughout the time they've been in GANGSTA. So they're really going at it here with a lot of these scenes. Spas is able to get Maverick a bit. Like he wanted her legs and some of her torso, and also her cheek, her left cheek, and he almost cuts her a little bit more until she shows those heads, and then that's when Spas freaks out and he starts hallucinating. He ends up vomiting, yeah, because now he's remembering everybody he killed, and because of that, Maverick is mocking him, and she's just laughing her ass off here. It's at that moment where we see the flares coming from the mercenaries that just kidnapped the kids at the orphanage, and everybody sees it, from Stryker, Beretta to, well, speaking of Beretta, she actually comes in this chapter and she ends up saving Stryker. Well, temporarily they're trying to get out of there, but then they have to fight some more Parkley Guild members, and that scene right there is pretty cool right there. I mean, they all mobbed up against them, but let's see how they can last against Stryker and Beretta. But anyway, even Maverick and Spas also see the signal flash telling them to retreat. And Spas pleads to Maverick, like, please don't go, we haven't reached an understanding yet. Because he's really trying to get it through Maverick, but he should know that that's going to be futile. That's useless, Maverick is set in her ways, she's not going to change. And Maverick, not sensing that Spas has truly changed his mind about killing, she insists that everything's going to be okay. The reason why you're having these doubts in your head is because you're too kind, you're too sweet. You worry about unnecessary things. If that's how it's gonna be, just let me save you. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. And it's at this moment where she's reminiscing about the past, the time that she witnessed the killing of her foster family, and there's Abel holding her. And interesting enough, it looks like he did it. Abel is the one that killed Maverick's foster parents, his own parents, but just for the sake of that girl. I mean, it's pretty wild, you know. That's how much she deeply cares about him. And then this scene here, like she's holding him very, very close to her face, and she's just looking flat out devilish here. She's looking very creepy, you know. But then Spas just said, "No, enough. I can't do it. I don't want to go back. We are the ones that are wrong here to destroy us. We are wrong." And it's at this moment she almost cuts Spas. And it looks like he was about to die. He was going to accept his fate, but nope. Instinctively, he decides to survive. He wants to fight on. And it's at that moment he cuts Maverick's arm in 3 pieces, like just totally obliterated with his wires. It was crazy. Yeah, that's the end of chapter 12. And chapter 13 is going to be just as suspenseful. Maybe not quite as dramatic as chapter 12 was with the fight, but it's definitely going to be crazy. Like, we'll just have to see how long Maverick survives this, because it's not looking good for her now that she only has one arm here. So this is looking like close to the end for this girl, man. And it's kind of a shame, because like throughout this Gangsta Curse series, she was definitely one of the better characters in there, even though she was bipolar and just flat out nuts. But yeah, everybody tell me what you think about that particular fight and also the chapter. Let me know your thoughts there, and I will see you all with chapter 13.